Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight in the Ladies Lounge on JetsonsRadioDC.com. .com. On Jetsons Radio DC Live, okay? So I am Jazz.
Hey, hi. Cool. So we can
Okay.
get a little bit.
Okay.
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 There we go.
Scoot this way?
We good right here.
Okay. All right. So, again, thank you for joining us. We hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. It is hump day. Again, it's the middle of the
Yes.
week, guys.
Yes.
This is the last week in the month, right?
Yes, and it's already fall.
It's already fall and it's already about to be October. So, as we go into this new season, no, is it fall already?
Yeah, it
Fall?
was just fall a couple of days ago. Monday or Tuesday? Monday, yeah.
This week.
The 21st?
This whole month. Okay, so now that it's fall, we are moving into a new season, and we thought an appropriate topic tonight would be forgiveness. All right. Now, there are some things like oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't come for me like that. You know what I'm saying? So we know there are times where it is hard to forgive, but we want to talk about the importance for forgiveness, what it looks like, what are some of the things you will and just will not forgive, and why. So we would appreciate if you like, comment, and share. We definitely need your comments. We need all your love. Thank you, those who are joining us right now.
Yes, thank you. And some of these, we're gonna read some of what Google told us to do, but at the same time is
Incorporate ways that we do it
just
too.
stories of how you forgave someone, or can you forgive someone, or how to not just forgive someone, but to forgive yourself.
That's very
Because
important.
sometimes
forgiving yourself is the hardest part.
Yes.
Yep. And I know even with me and her, like we've been friends since ever, but we've had situations forever. Okay, we're just gonna leave it at that because we just gonna leave it at forever. But the thing is that we've had to forgive each other several times on several occasions.
Right.
Probably just yesterday. Who knows?
Right.
So forgiveness is something that you have to practice, and it's very important in order to live a conducive and productive life, in order to just have peace within yourself and peace within your universe. So, T, what do you think? What would you say is one of your unforgivables?
I don't know. It's just like you never know until you actually go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like you never know because forgiveness can be with your kids, co-workers, your family members, parents, siblings, friendship, your significant other. So honestly, I do not have this is something that I will not be able to forgive because I can't say if I will or will not. It just depends on the situation and when it's brought to me at that time. But even when
it just depends on how you feeling.
Yes, and then even maybe at that moment I might not want to forgive, but who's to say I won't forgive down the line? So I don't have an answer to say that I have an answer to say, a moment that's unforgivable.
But the thing is I think people also forget that just because I forgive you don't mean I have to deal with you in the same capacity too. You know what I'm saying? Like I can forgive you for something you did, but our relationship will totally change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not to say that I don't forgive you, but we won't manage in the same way we managed before, depending on what the severity of the thing is that you did that I knew and you both knew that was wrong.
No, and you're 100% right, but that don't mean that you didn't forgive that person. Right. That just means maybe time went on, or maybe what the person did is
no longer relevant to your life.
Right, but you were able to forgive that person and move on.
Correct.
And that forgiving someone is the hardest thing to do. Like I said, you never know what you can or what you will allow yourself to forgive someone until you're in that situation. So that I can't answer. Have I forgiven people? Yes. Have people forgiven me? Yes.
Right.
But do we forget? No, and that's something that we're going to talk about. No, you don't forget. But can you forgive and forget? That's another thing.
But see, the reason why I think it's hard to forget is because sometimes situations rear their ugly heads so much that it becomes a point to where it's no longer an accident. Like you,
If you keep doing the
yeah,
same
like
thing
what am
over.
I forgiving if it's not a mistake?
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? And I'm steadily letting you into my life in the same capacity because I forgave and forgot. Because that's what I try to do is forgive and forget. But you keep, you know what I'm saying, making me relive the same situation in different ways.
Right. So let me ask you this, and we're gonna read some of the comments. But have you ever caught yourself to be on the other side where you are actually being the one that you keep saying sorry? Or you gotta be the one that keep being the one that's being forgiven? Like, have you ever been in that situation?
Probably. And I'm going to say probably because maybe I don't even understand what your problem is in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about where you're doing something
where I'm apologizing where it's offensive to someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I want to say yes.
Right.
Probably in a relationship maybe. And maybe it's something that I'm doing or something that I've just been used to doing and I'm not seeing it as offensive as you're taking it.
Right.
And I don't mean to offend you, but it's offensive to you. And you keep telling me and I keep apologizing, but it's not like I keep making the same mistake on purpose. It's because I don't even understand why it's offensive in the first place.
Right. But that would be something where the person, where that's where you would have to open up to understand why they are feeling the way that they're feeling.
Right.
Am I using defensive words?
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's, I mean, sometimes, like, am I catching you at the bad moment? Sometimes that could be too. Am I catching you, as soon as you get off of work and you done had a hard day at work, now I want to talk to you about, how I'm feeling. Sometimes that depends on the person's mood too. So before we go a little further, we're just going to read some comments. Thank you for everybody for joining.
Please like, comment, and share.
We have Leslie said, forgiving myself is definitely hard for me. Hey, ladies. Hey, Les.
Hey.
Thank you for sharing the topic. Hey, Janine. Love you guys. Love you too, baby. Love you too, Janine. This topic is definitely a hard one for me. Yes, and let me tell you, it's a hard one for me too. No, it really is. And this is one thing I always say, and I will continue to say. When Jazz and I come up with these topics, I would definitely tell you, regardless if this is something that we are going through at the moment or we have went through in the past, these are real life topics. They're not just topics that we just saying, oh, let's just talk about it and just see what people are going to say. You know what I'm saying? Or just be like, let's just figure out what we could say along the way. Because sometimes I definitely could tell you, I probably share sometimes more than what I want to share, but I'm okay. But I'm okay with that, because I already know once I sit down in front of this computer, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out of the things that I've been through, or that I know that I have to keep it real and talk about with these topics. You know what I'm saying? So yes, forgiveness is definitely hard for me too, Janine. And not because, I was the one that was so easy forgiven, but because I know I hurt people and I had to have people forgive me and I wanted them to forgive me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. Leslie said, okay, truth be told, I have had a hard time forgiving in general. I try, but deep down I'm guarded and I remember past hurts if the same people continue to hurt me. True. But that would be, and this is just going for experience. Like, how many times are you willing to accept that person to hurt you?
And then, like, a lot of times, okay, so sometimes I think of that in the concept of family. Like, you have a kid, right? And your kid is a klepto. You know what I'm saying? You love your kid. You never want to see anything bad happen to your kid, but they always stealing all your money out of your purse. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they always apologize. Sometimes they get real prideful. They won't apologize because they swear they didn't take it. But when you do finally catch them and they do admit it, they know that they did it, and you keep forgiving them and you keep bringing them back into your house. But how many times do you allow that person to serve your life in that same capacity? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You can always love your kid, but you can just start putting your cash in your bra. Or you can just start putting your cash somewhere where your kid can't get it.
Right. Or
But then
carrying your purse around the house
and
and
it's
all that.
uncomfortable. Trust me, I lived with one of these. It's
Right.
uncomfortable to do this in your own house because you end up hiding stuff from yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, forgiving and forgetting is one thing. You forget when, I think it's easier to forget when it's not a repeat offense. But it becomes hard to forget when you start seeing a pattern. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to reposition that person in your life. You know what I'm saying? Stop giving them access to things that you know they're going to take advantage of. So that's something that is hard for me too. You know what I'm saying? Because I would like to think that I'm a very forgiving person.
Right. And you are. And
mean as hell, but very forgiving. You know, it takes me a while, but I'm a lover. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nurturer. So, but people take advantage of that a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I do start serving you out that long handled spoon or putting you in a different position, like, no, don't worry about what I'm doing today. I'm over here. Don't even worry about it.
Right.
When I start, you know, repositioning you in my life, that's when you start noticing. And a lot of people will be like, what's good? You know, you don't mess with me like that no more. I love you. You know, I still love you and I still feel that you're a very important part of my life. But now I know that you can no longer serve me the way that I need you to serve me. We're no longer good for each other.
Right.
In that manner. You know what I'm saying? You can still call me, yeah, girl. Or boy, whatever.
Right.
You can still call me, but the access that I gave you before, I can no longer afford you that access.
Right. All right. So reading through a few comments, we have Ramon said, "You can forgive. It's almost impossible to forget." Well, of course, and that's one thing. But when we never forget, but you know what the part is? When we know that we really did not forgive. And this is just, again, speaking from experience. And this is how you know that you really didn't forgive, when you keep bringing it up.
Even when it's over.
When you keep, like, that's just, again, like I said, this is not me trying to tell y'all or give advice. I'm just saying that's when you just know you did not really forgive, is when you keep bringing it up or keep throwing it in a person's face of what they did. You know what I'm saying? Because we know you can never forget. That's in your mind. That's in your mind. You can never forget that. But you can never forget. You know what I'm saying? But
I think the more you talk about it, the more you keep it alive.
Right.
The more you bring it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, if it continue happening, then now you got to keep bringing it up. You know what I'm saying? So we're not. It's never to forget, but to forgive. To say, I forgive you. Just please don't do it again. But if it continue to happen, I mean, do you continue to forgive? Are you wrong? Are you right? It's no right or wrong. Nobody's right. We're not here to judge. We're not here to judge, because you can forgive a person 100 times and they keep doing the same thing. But that is up to you if you want to keep doing it. Because like I said, to each his own. I'm pretty sure at some point in our lives, we have been in a situation where we had to apologize more than once to the same person. Regardless if it's your significant other, family member, friend, co-worker, I don't care what it is. You had to apologize to someone, and you probably had to do it more than once.
And just like you said, like, sometimes you have a problem with words. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may say things that are overly more offensive than what you mean them to be.
Right.
Like, you meant to offend that person, but maybe not take it that far.
Right.
Or not even offend that person. You meant to sting them enough to get their attention because they've offended you. But they've taken it to a whole nother level, and you're like, wait a minute, pause. I wasn't even going there, but It did sound like I could have gone there. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with emotions and dealing with anger,
right,
or, you know, maybe even the happy emotions, you might say something you don't necessarily mean the way that the person take it.
Right. So here go a few comments. Still struggling with the topic. Yes, I get you, Janine. I am too. Maya said, I found myself forgiving all the time, and it's easy for me, but for some reason I haven't came to the grasp for my closest cousin, like my daughter was murdered. It's still hard. Well, see, yeah.
Girl, that's going to probably take a light. That's hard. You know, forgiveness ain't an easy thing.
Right. And even the fact that you didn't have a relationship with that person that did that, I'm pretty sure make it even harder, because you don't no history of this person. You have no reason why. What was this person even thinking? Sometimes when we forgive people, it's because we know their history. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we know, okay, this person been through this, or this person tripping. Oh, we kind of could, I don't even want to use the word sugarcoat. I swear I don't want
Kind
to
of
use
relate.
sugarcoat, but kind of relate, or kind of give an excuse of maybe why they reacted the way they did. But if you don't know that person, it's like I don't you don't have a reason to forgive because you don't have no
Relationship with them.
relationship.
But you know
You
what?
have no sympathy, no compassion
I
with
think
them.
now, honestly, I have been seeing people that have had family members murdered
Mhm.
and on TV, and they say I forgave the murderer. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And to me, I think that's more about inner peace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you can go around and you can hold this grudge, but it's always going to take root. It's always going to take root,
Mhm.
and it's always going to manifest nothing but poison. And
Mhm.
I don't know when the time frame is. I
Mhm.
don't know how people come to that conclusion so fast. I
Right.
guess it depends on how deep rooted you are in faith. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? But I think that sometimes you have to. It's really not about that other person. It's about you forgiving because you need the peace. You need the peace
Mhm.
of mind because
Mhm.
it will eat at your soul. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It will
Right.
manifest in different ways in your life.
Right. We have Patrick that said, "Hey, ladies, I
Hey,
love what
Pat.
you're doing, my word. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Pat.
so much
Thank
for
you."
joining us.
Les said, "Good point, Jazz. I had this conversation yesterday where the person could not see where they were being hurtful just because they had a different viewpoint. It's to the point where I'm not sure I can continue the relationship." And you know what? I've been I've been through that too. But did you tell a person? That's the thing. Did you tell a person that they was being hurtful? Hurtful. And I think that's where I know I have messed up in my relationships, probably with not telling people how I felt, because I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. So when it came out hurtful. And that's where you got to go through the forgiving, saying sorry, and all that stuff because you wasn't truthful in telling the person that you hurt my feelings.
But you know what? I think for me, it's kind of that. But I know I'm getting better. I'm growing every day. I'm only
Mhm.
human. But I know I hold things because I internally I try to figure it out. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you had to know that was messed up. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I kind of think everybody should be an adult and kind of acknowledge when they're wrong, but
But
they
some
might not know,
people
right?
don't.
They might not
Right.
even know.
Right.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, but you just did the same thing again. I know you had to know that was stupid. So
Mhm.
by the time I finally do say something, it comes out crazy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I am learning to address the situations as they happen, but I
Right.
also am learning to do it from a different standpoint than anger.
Right. Mhm.
So I think a
Mhm.
lot of times I have to control my anger because when I get angry, it's like a volcano. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
just keep erupting. When it boils over, everything in its path is on fire.
Right. And I will
Everything
tell
is
y'all,
burning to
let me tell
ashes.
you, I have known Jazz, she said, for 90 years. But I'm going to say 80 years. But anyway,
75.
it takes a lot for her to get angry. And so she's one of those people that when I see her angry, it's like I know she's upset. Like I know she's angry.
And
And
it takes so long to calm down by the time I get there. Oh, I hate that. I do. I don't even like being mad, but by the time I
right,
am mad, it is hell to pay.
right.
You know, somebody gonna get it.
And then
I hate that.
and even her mad,
Ah,
and it's not to say that you don't take nobody mad. Like when somebody's angry or mad, you should always take that serious and be like, yo, I upset this person. But because as long as I've known Jazz and because I don't see her that much angry, I hate to say it's not that I don't take it
it
serious.
just look
Listen
weird.
what I'm saying. It's not that I don't take it serious because I know you're mad, but it's just like, no, this not for real. Jazz is not mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this is not real because I know I'm not. You're not that type of person to be angry.
I work hard at not being angry.
And I know if you angry, it's not just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Some people could be angry just because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Bitchy and angry
and
is two different
and you
things.
be like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like,
I just did the morning.
You just slept for 6-7 hours. What are you angry for? Did you have a bad dream that somebody pissed you off in your dream and you wake up angry? So
Yes.
I'm just saying, Jazz is not an angry person. So when she gets angry, you know, it's
hard and it takes
hard.
too much energy.
It's a whole different person to a sense. So
oh, it just takes so much energy. But the thing is that I think because I spend so much time trying to understand from my viewpoint, from the other person's viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to rationalize your situation. I was about to say your stupidity. I'm not going to say stupidity because that's harsh, because everything, it's not about being stupid. It's just about people being different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So here go a few comments. You got something you want to read, Jazz?
Girl. Let me see.
We probably pretty much got the same
comments. Pretty much got the same one.
All right. I had Leslie said, when it's family, you try to take a step back and say maybe it's me, but you keep trying because you want good relationships.
But the thing is that it has to be a two-way thing, and that's with family, that's with friends, that's with lovers, that's with kids. We all have to be on the same page to want siblings, a good relationship.
Cousins, yes, because I had moments that I had to, not a lot, but I can remember one moment that I really had to even apologize to my mother. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she didn't want. And this is a real quick story. I remember I just came home from having surgery, and she was telling me to sit down. And I guess I know I was angry because I couldn't move the way I wanted to move because I had surgery, and I'm a person that's on the go, moving. So I had to be at a standstill. So I was angry and mad at myself because I had to be at a standstill. So my mother said what she said, sit your butt down, this and that, and I snapped. And she was only helping me. You know what I'm saying? Because you know when we just have surgery or you in the hospital when you admitted and you have stuff done, we know we're not supposed to be jumping around trying to clean the house and everything. That's what she came down for. But I snapped because I was mad that I could not move the way I did. So I had to apologize to my mother because I snapped on her and said some things that I know I shouldn't have said. You know, just being angry because I'm mad that I'm at a standstill. So, like I said, when you ask for forgiveness, it can be a stranger on the street. Yeah. You know, when you have that customer service type thing, when you in a grocery store on the line, and you got one customer holding the line up, or you in a grocery store, you only got 2 lines open. Once you get to the register, you cursing the person out, but then you realize, you be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I've been having a bad day. Please forgive me. I'm just angry because I just wanted to come straight in the grocery store, grab 2 things, but the 2 things, I'm in line for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes forgiving or asking for forgiveness can be even just asking a stranger.
But how many? It's crazy because I wonder how many people actually ask a stranger for forgiveness after they done, flipped out and said something rude.
But you know what? Even if you didn't have a chance to ask that stranger for forgiveness, now you got to forgive yourself. You have to be like, I forgive. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're not saying it personally to that person, but you take a breather and you say, you know what? I forgive myself that I said this to that person.
For showing off, because I was mad.
And you know what? If I ever see that person, because you know what? You're probably going to remember that person's face.
But guess what?
You might even go in that same grocery store. You might even go in that same place that you cursed that person out. Even if it's weeks or months later. And you say, you know what? I was here 2 weeks ago. I was in a bad mood. I was having a bad day. I apologize. Do you forgive me?
Who does that? I'm curious. I want to know if there's... No, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I want to know if you've ever had a time where you had to apologize to someone you didn't know, or even go back and apologize for some way that you acted because you were having a bad day. Tim said, I have road rage. Too many inconsiderate people on the road. Other than that, I don't allow anyone to dictate my emotion. I am the master of my emotions. Yes, sir.
And you know what? And that's good. But for some people, Tim, that's easier said than done. But you know what? Kudos to you that you can go by that motto and do that. Because sometimes when you don't show emotions to people, people become more rah, 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 rah.
And you know what I'm saying? That is always my
that's
problem.
a good thing.
My mom used to do that to me.
Thing.
Because my mom used to do that to me because she used to try to, she would do things because she know it took me a long time to get mad.
Mm-hmm.
So she would intentionally do and say things to push my buttons.
Right.
And I would just click every time. I would just hang up, or I'd be like, man, whatever. But it would be that one time she backed me into that corner.
Right.
And I'm barking.
Mm-hmm. And
then I'm in the wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then I'd be like, oh my God, fine. You should leave me alone, but I'm sorry.
Right.
So
exactly.
I've always been in that situation to where, I try to master my own emotions. And I do a good job for the most part, but then there's just sometimes it's just not always that good. Sometimes it come out crazy, a little,
right.
Other than what I would like it to, but I'm on the verge of mastering my emotions too.
Patrick said, I personally don't forgive anyone that shits on me. Why would I? I'll never be friends with that person I'll never be friends with the person and the trust will never be there. So it's best to keep a distance and never forgive.
Never forgive. So would you, my question is for those people that are as hardened like that, because sometimes
that would never forgive.
This world is cruel. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you feel like, man, I ain't no use of forgiving. Like everybody just sucks. You know what I'm saying? And it does get like that. We all have those feelings, even if it's in a relationship or whatever. Like I'm never dating again. Men suck or women suck or whatever the case may be. But what would you do if you did something wrong to someone and you really wanted them to forgive you and they didn't? Now, people's concept of shitting on people is completely different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where you may feel that you just said something out of place. They may be like, man, you shitted on me in front of my people, or whatever the case may be. They may feel some type of way about something you said, even though you didn't take it as deep as they did and you asked for forgiveness. And they say, I can't even rock with you no more. Like they hold not forgive you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So sometimes forgiveness, again, is because you're a human and you don't do everything perfectly.
Right. Because if you're a decent human, for the most part, you're not hurting anybody on purpose. You know what I'm saying? You're not purposely waking up saying, I want to hurt this person.
I don't know.
No. I mean, I said if you're a decent human. If you're a decent human.
If you're not a decent human, if you're a strange alien, sometimes you have that dream about hurting that person, you wake up and you set out to do it.
If you're a decent human being, for the most part, you're not waking up to say, I am about to go out there and hurt this person, regardless if it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or whatever. You're not. You're not.
Right.
So sometimes, like you said, we don't know we're doing it. We don't.
And we don't know the extent that the words go, because words cut. Words are usually sharper than a fist fight. You get over them bruises and that L. You know what I'm saying? You'll get over that. But sometimes them words, they play back in your head. So
Ramon said that's when you need to learn to love certain people at a distance. You can't allow yourself to be hurt by people who are multiple offenders. And that's true.
Repeat offenders.
And you're right. But when you walk, and that's another thing too, Ramon, when you walk away from them people, sometimes they look at you like you the messed up person, or either that you the one that hurt them because now you walked away.
Because they apologized and you didn't accept it, or you accepted it and now you acting funny.
Right. So now you the person that hurt them, even though they didn't realize that they've been hurting you multiple times. But then that's when you need to say, okay, did I let this person know that they hurt me? Did I let them know what's bothering me? Did I tell them that you offended me? Did I say, I don't like how you said this to me? I don't like how you treated me this way. To at least give them some sense of letting them know what they did wrong. And like Jazz said earlier, sometimes we as people, we think that everybody should know you done said or you did something wrong. But sometimes people just need to know.
And trust me, she pulls my card on this every time. I feel that way. I mean, it's not a moment that goes by because I'll come to her and I'll be like, man, listen, okay, I'm just going to let them figure it out because we all adults. Because if I say something, it's going to come out wrong. But then by the time I do say something, it's usually I'll say it to her first. And then she'll be like, well, you didn't say that when it first happened. I'm like, why do I have to tell grown people how to treat people? So sometimes it's hard for me. But because I have my other conscience, sometimes be like, Jazz, come on. Like, sometimes I even need to be told sometime when I say hurtful things or when I do hurtful things. And I'm like, well, I meant to say it, but I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Right.
Like, I believe in apologizing and giving a rationale as to what you're apologizing for. If you're just saying I'm sorry, then what are you sorry for? Are you sorry because I'm mad, or are you sorry about what you said? Or is it that you didn't mean to say what you said or make me feel how I feel? What are you sorry for? Because some apologies flow like that word, I love you. I love you, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? At some point, words have no meaning if there's no action put behind them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Maya said, I don't forget how it made me feel. Once you're forgiven, and like Jazz said, you know how to reposition that person. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then Leslie said, I might need therapy after this, ladies. Girl, I'm telling you. And that's why I love, thank you all for joining us. That's why I love being here in the Ladies Lounge, because I want to talk about those topics that we find hard to deal with on our own, the things that, kind of we let fester. And what it does is just create other problems. And if everybody else pays for what we didn't deal with that one person, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's the kids or the coworkers, somebody's paying for that. Even your health, it takes toll on your health. Unforgiveness takes toll on your health. She said, I do have to be honest. I do consider myself a decent human being. Are you sure? I'm just playing. But when you are hurt so much and you wake up without that IDGAF attitude, it ain't right, but it's my truth. My cousin knows this. It's your truth, and it happens. And it's not only your truth, because a lot of people wake up with that attitude. If you go to sleep mad like you're not supposed to, I seriously doubt, if you mad at the person you lay next to when you go to sleep, I don't even care if y'all had great sex or not. I seriously doubt you wake up and be like, baby, I'm about to make some pancakes. You still feeling some type of way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
right.
A lot of times it's hard to turn that off when it's already in your mind, because you already want to address it completely differently than what you did. You know?
Right.
So it's not, it's all about working through that feeling and working through that emotion so it don't manifest within your soul, or within yourself.
Right. Maya said, I agree, man. When someone keep bringing up what happened, you did not forgive. Yes, I definitely agree. Ramon said, you can't keep breathing air and life to a dead issue. If it's forgiven, that's it. Let it go. And you know what? We're gonna not right now, but we're gonna take a little break.
Yes.
In a minute, not right now. We're gonna go over just some things, like I said. With you guys and ladies are giving good viewpoints, which we actually found, and even not just what we found on Google, but just as
we've dealt with life,
dealt with life. This conversation is what we go through on an everyday basis. I'm pretty sure past, history, present, because as long as we're alive, we always gonna encounter with people, and we're gonna have to forgive. We're gonna have to apologize. We're going to have people apologize to us.
And what's crazy is that I'm even learning, like I tell people, and I've recently just started saying this, sometimes you got to teach people how to treat you. And I know that sounds crazy.
No.
And I'm not saying treat me good, treat me bad, treat me, because everybody's version of good is different. And everybody's version of bad is different. You know what I'm saying? You might think you treat me good because you answer the phone every time I call.
Right.
But I need your attention and your affection in a different way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that may be nothing to me.
Right.
It may not be like, here she answered the phone when I call. She ain't here when she ain't with me shooting in the gym.
Right.
So it may be completely different as to what I need. So I do believe when you're encountering different people throughout all your interactions of the world, even with your family, because guess what? Never know what's going on in someone's household,
right? Because let me tell you,
I had friends or anything like that.
If y'all heard stories about what me and Jess shared, I apologize to my daughter, I had to apologize again, like a story I said with my mom. I had to apologize to my sister. You know, trust me, I have people that I know I had to apologize to. And I'm grateful that they were able to
Forgive.
forgive. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of those you know if you keep doing it over and over and over again, your family members could distance you too. Just because it's family, you know, we say family over everything. Trust me, I get that. Family is everything. I love my family to death. I love it. But that don't mean family cannot distance you as well as a coworker, a friend, or even a significant other. You know, when you can't even walk into your family member house because you done messed up or you done did some hurtful shit over and over to them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, guys, we are going to take a little break here. Make sure you like, comment, and share. We are talking about forgiveness tonight. Somebody needs to hear this, y'all. Don't be stingy. Share this video. Make sure you like, comment, and share. When we come back, we're going to talk about ways to forgive, what forgiveness looks like. How do you forgive yourself? What's the benefit of forgiveness? So we're just going to, switch it from what we can't forgive and all those hurtful feelings that we let fester and boil up. We're going to switch this and figure out how we can turn around so we can have and create and just better the relationships that come into our lives, the better, know how to take care of them, not based on what we've dealt with, but based on how we've learned how to handle what we dealt with. So sit tight or, use the bathroom, do what you got to do. Give us a couple minutes and we'll be right back. gosh, we are so crazy, guys. Okay, thank you again for joining us in the Ladies Lounge after our commercial break. I am Jazz,
See?
and you are here in the Ladies Lounge on Jetson's Radio DC. So we've been talking about forgiveness. We've been talking about how hard it is to forgive. We've been talking about like the no-nos, like double crossing and all that.
And yeah, it's hard, like how and
The hows and the
how
why.
it's hard and
yes, why is hard.
forgiving yourself.
All that
And
good
when
stuff.
it's hard to say I forgive, and when it's hard to say you're sorry, all that. Like,
And forgive yourself. All
Right.
those good things. So if you missed that part of our show, make sure you go back and watch the beginning. Like, comment, and share this video. Leave your comments. We will definitely read them and get back to them as soon as we can. But in the meantime, guys, we did a smidge bit of research. We Googled some stuff. Okay?
And a lot of stuff that we actually have, you guys already been saying. Even
Right.
we said it, just going off of, our past experience with forgiving people and people happen to forgive us. Or we the one, like I said, I have been in the position where I had to say I was sorry.
So the things that we looked at actually may give you a little bit of insight, may give you a different outlook on forgiveness, how to forgive, and how to forgive yourself. So the first thing I want to read off is, what is forgiveness? Well, it says, what is forgiveness for you?
Mm-hmm.
But it also gives me like a meaning of what forgiveness is. So it can't be for me because you just told me what I felt. But
Right.
okay. So what is forgiveness for you? Forgiveness is the intentional and voluntary process by which a victim undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding the offense. Let's go of the negative emotion, such as vengefulness, with an increased ability to wish the offender well. That comes, and okay, so quick story. For me, when I went through my custody case with my son's father, that's a situation that I'm having a hard time forgiving, even though it happened in 2012. But I wish him well. I still care about his well-being. I still don't want nothing to happen to that man. He still loves my son.
Right.
He still take care of my son. He's very involved in his life, and I can actually have a conversation with him because the situation didn't go as planned. You know what I'm saying? So I forgive the person for trying me. But you will never be that close again to try that same thing.
Right,
but I can still wish you well because I don't want any harm to come towards you because I don't believe you honestly was in your right mind when you tried it. I may be wrong.
Right. And that goes back to where I said, where some people actually seek out to hurt a person.
Right. But,
he pretty sure he has a good heart somewhere, but some people actually are out to hurt
but you know
others.
What? In his mind, and see, this is the thing, how people think differently. In his mind, he had he rationalized that this was a good and wise decision to make. So in his mind, he didn't set out to hurt me. Me on the receiving end, there's nothing you can't tell me that was not, intentional about that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So me having to forgive in order to make their relationship more productive for my son, me having to go outside myself and forgive because I don't like harboring anger. You're not going to drive me crazy. That's what you're not going to do. I'm not going to give you that power. Like Tim said, I have to learn how to manage my own emotions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know that I have to remove myself out of the situation after the battle was said and done and won.
And we know that's not easy.
It definitely is not easy.
And let me tell you, girl, that from you even just bringing that up, I praise you for even being able to do that because, like I said, y'all heard my stories from the beginning about me having to forgive family members, or being the one in a situation where I need somebody to forgive me. And when you asked the question, what is something that is unforgivable? And I said that I don't know that. I can't answer that because I have to be in that situation.
That would have qualified.
That would be a situation that I don't know if I would be able to do that.
Because it was beginning to eat at me. Now, hold on. Let me say, I still have a hard time.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but I don't interrupt their relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you can't, I don't interrupt their relationship because I know that's outside of me. And I know that's what my son needs. But you're not gonna stick me. You're not gonna get that close to me. And
Right.
I forgave the person for not being smart on how they went about it. I didn't forgive the action because you don't know the repercussions of what happened after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't know what's going on still after that. But guess what? I know that in order for me to grow, in order for me to grow with my son, in order for my son to grow with his father, I am that link. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I had to man up and get them emotions together. You know, right. For the most part, for the most part, I had to get emotions together.
Right. Tim said, might I suggest a bit of literature, my Nubian sisters? Yes, you may, Tim. Do give your input, because this is what we're about. Give your input.
Yes, and your literature.
Yep, give it all, because
we all need it. You never, like I said, please like, comment, and share this video because somebody needs this. Somebody is struggling with something deep down inside that's creating a bunch of hell in their life. You know what I'm saying? On a whole different level, and they don't even know why. So the other thing that I wanted to read is, what does it mean to be forgiven? And it says psychologists generally define forgiveness as a conscious, deliberate decision to release the feelings and resentment of vengeance towards a person or group of people who have harmed you, regardless of what they've actually deserved your forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting.
Right.
But where'd it go? Oh, nor does it mean condoning or excusing offenses. So it's not saying that it's not saying that you're not forgiving them. You can, like we talked about earlier, Ramon Primo said, feeding them, from a distance, love them from a distance. Right. You can love them in a different way. Not to say that you don't love them, but the love won't be the same. As in, like I said, maybe at one point you were eating dinner at my house every Sunday. Now I gotta cut you back to not coming at all.
Just showing acknowledgement. Like I seen what you did. You said what you said. I hurt you. But like I said, sometimes when you gotta give that forgiveness, if you probably would have said it in the beginning, like if something's bothering you or something's made you upset. If you can share that with, again, regardless if it's a significant other, coworker, family, sibling, child, you probably wouldn't have to be in that situation, like, to forgive. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, not to say that you can't forgive. Like, sometimes, I guess in my situations, a lot of my times what forgiving was my mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then I was stubborn with apologizing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look up.
Yeah.
You see her look up.
I can see
You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking on my term. Like, a lot of my forgiveness where I had to be the one to say I'm sorry is because my mouth. My mouth, I know at times can be crazy. I have gotten a lot better. Don't do that, Jazz. See, look at her. I have gotten a lot better because trust me, if I have not gotten a lot better, my relationships with my family, my significant other, my friends, my co-workers would not be where it's at. And if it didn't, trust me, I probably would not be sitting here in front of y'all talking to y'all right now.
We done grew up about
so
that.
So I know that's where a lot of my forgiveness had to come at. But I wasn't always like verbal to just blurt out and be mean.
Will you forgive me?
It came out. My forgiveness came out because I was angry at times. I didn't just wake up angry. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just wake up just saying I want to curse somebody out. I didn't wake up just saying I want to be mean to this person and say this and say that. Because I'm definitely a giving person. I know that. And like you said earlier, sometimes being so giving, people can take advantage of that. And I guess on my end, I got tired of people taking advantage of me regardless what it is, because I know I'm a giving person, that it came out so vocal. Or I was probably the one to be like, oh, forget it, I don't want to be bothered again. Because I believe it was Patrick or somebody said they just distance themselves and they walk away. And that's me. But I realized that it's not always about walking away. Even if you did walk away, always still let that person know. If they mean dare to you or they mean something to you, let them know what bothers you. And if you feel you want to walk away, then walk away. You get what I'm saying? So that's my thing, like I said, this topic right here, how we was going back all the way from the beginning with Leslie and Janine and all that, saying that this is a very, sore topic. Yes, it really is for me too.
Well, I don't know if it's sore for me, because, you know. No, I mean, it is because it's also making me reflect a lot. But the thing is that I always reflect on me, and that's probably my problem because I overanalyze me. Like, okay, Jazz, maybe you're overreacting.
Right.
Maybe you shouldn't say anything.
All right. Leslie said, Jazz, you mentioned managing our emotions. I actually have a book written by Joyce Meyer. I probably need to blow the dust off it. But this was much needed, ladies, because I'm definitely in a place of anger and forgiveness. I'm messy, y'all. Um, Les, because
Get
you
to
my
it.
because you my cousin.
I mean, because
I get it, but like I said, going back to when I said I didn't want to use the word sugarcoat, but give excuses or reasoning why the person reacted the way they did. Just because you in a situation, or somebody hurt you, or like you said, your coworker says something meaningful to you, that you react the way you do. That don't mean it's right. At the end of the day, it don't mean it's right. And it's crazy because I was just talking to my cousin on the way here from work. And we had a good conversation. And I know at the end of the day, when somebody piss you off or make you mad, that does not mean that you just say things off the top of your head to make them mad or to hurt them. But like Jazz said, we are not perfect. You know what I'm saying? But when you can sit back or either say in your mind, even if you share with yourself, you don't got to share it to everybody, but even if you say to yourself, I should not have done that. Lord, please forgive me.
And forgive yourself.
And forgive yourself for reacting the way you did. And reacting the way you did because that person brought you out of your character. Like Tim said. No, Ramon said, he don't let people dictate his emotions.
Oh yeah.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah,
that's hard. Like you gotta practice that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it ain't always happen like that. That's something you actually have to practice.
You really do. And then, okay, so dang, it's 8 o'clock already, y'all. We didn't even get through all the good stuff. But okay, so all right, we won't hold you guys all night. Let me see. Where can we go from here?
Just read like a few of the
how to forgive someone who has hurt you?
Oh, even forgiving yourself. Like that.
Ooh, that is really good. Okay. So, Amazon, Google had said, we actually looked up, how to forgive yourself because
like
I know it's
steps.
definitely a process. And these are the 6 steps that Google suggested. Become clear on your morals and values that are as they are right now. Not as they were, not as how you were taught, as they are right now. Realize that the past is the past. Stop living in it. If you can't fix it, move on from it. Create a redo. I think what create a redo mean is that when you forgive a person, forgive them. You know what I'm saying? And move on. Realize you did the best you could at that time. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't do the best you could. Maybe you just acted off of emotion. Maybe you were sloppy with your movement.
Right.
Maybe you didn't do the best you could do, but guess what you did? You did the best you could do to rectify the situation after you did what you did that was not nice. Realize, wait a minute, start acting in accordance with your morals and values. That's getting all in alignment with yourself. You already, and I think too, when it say become clear, I think you should write them down. I think that helps.
But that goes back to create a redo.
Yeah. Reshift, rebalance. Yeah. And that's very important. Identify your biggest regrets. And that's gonna rip you open a little bit more. But the thing is that when you're open, you can bleed, you can drain. You know what I'm saying? You get that out, and then you can do steps 1 through 5. Right. You know what I'm saying? Get back in tune with who you are. Get in tune with who you are as of now, and not who people thought you were when you were that girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because forgiving yourself is the first step. You can't forgive somebody if you can't forgive yourself.
Right.
Like kind of like love. Like how I'm going to love you and I don't love myself.
Right.
You know, so
and these and like I said, we didn't read all through them, but if you Google, listen, like I said, forgiveness, we all know through our daily life what forgiveness is, how to forgive somebody, and what to forgive yourself. But at the end of the day, if you really don't know, Google it. Even if you gotta go see a psychiatrist or a therapist, whatever the case may be, just look up different things of how to forgive yourself and how to forgive others. Because that's the only way you can live a better and healthier life.
And be at peace with yourself.
This, and this is an everyday process. It's not like saying you can say, "Oh, I learned how to forgive myself
yesterday,
2 years ago." No, forgiving yourself and forgiving others is an everyday process. Trust me when I say it's an everyday process.
It's a part of growing up. It's a part of being an adult. That's how you see our elders, and they just be so cool about everything. You know, they don't be worried about too much. They don't got too much to do with nothing. They just be like, whatever, I'm cool. I ain't worried about nothing. But I want to thank you all so much for joining us.
Yes.
And if there is nothing that you got from this show tonight, understand forgiveness is the key. Forgiveness is the key. It can either lock you up or it can set you free. So again, thank you all for joining us. Please like, comment, and share. You can always keep this conversation going on our feed. You can hit us up in our inbox. We're looking for the lady letters. We're looking for the Wild Card Wednesday topics. You can hit us up at TL2 with Jazz and T at yahoo.com. Our Twitter is TL2 with Jazz and T.
Right. And before we close, I'm gonna let you know a few events and things that we got going on.
Yeah.
Okay, October 7th, which is next weekend, we got the Band of Brothers, which we're gonna share throughout the week. That's another event that you guys
get your pen and paper out right now.
Might want to look at or even come down because it's a free event. It's free. It is definitely free. You need to register at Band of Brothers. It's pretty much about males, guys getting together, domestic violence of men that were abused and why they abuse women. Not to say trust me, it's not about male bashing, but just to get a better knowledge about men and their thinking process, where they are, where they were from being raised, all that stuff. So, Band of Brothers.
Yes.
It will be at PG County Community College.
Yep.
October 7th from 9 to 3.
And then October 1st, we have the what is that event on October 1st? The How to Become Newsworthy event on October 1st.
Oh, yes, because I got to work the weekend.
Okay. Yes, that's popping off. Now, we did an interview with her, and if you didn't catch that, you definitely need to catch that. Hillary Styles. Oh, my gosh, she is so bomb. We had so much fun during that interview, but that is from 9 to... Was it 9 to 2?
No, that was like 2 to 4 because I'm going to be at work.
Okay, yeah, you're going to be at work. It's from 2 to 4. Make sure you go to, what is that website?
We will definitely get back.
Yes, we will post the websites and all the links, but you definitely want to be there.
How to become newsworthy. It's all about if you
want to take your business to the next level.
How to become newsworthy.
How to get on TV, how to make best of your TV time, how to be that thing you said you was. So that's October 1st. And then the Band of Brothers, October 7th, October 14th.
We got the masquerade ball for Tamika Douglas' birthday.
That's going to be fun, guys.
That is out here in Waldorf at Meek's Lounge in Waldorf.
Yep.
So we will be celebrating Tamika Douglas' birthday, the masquerade ball.
Women with No Limits.
Yes.
Her foundation also is about women that has survived domestic violence, women that's going through domestic violence. Make sure you hit us up if you want tickets to that. Tickets are only $20.
We have tickets.
And trust me, you're going to have fun. It's an all-black masquerade affair. It's right here in Charles County. Uber.
Right. And then one more last event. Yep. We have November 4th, Mommies and Mimosas.
Yes.
That is actually an event that Jazz and I are doing, JT LadiesLounge, and we are joining with Tamika Douglas,
Yes.
Women with No Limits.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be November 4th from 1 to 4. And that is an event that you don't want to miss as well. We're going to have speakers and vendors there. So we're going to have like 3 to 4 speakers just talking about their testimonies, their life, and just how they just made it,
And we're gonna have light food and mimosas most of all.
Yes.
You can't miss that. The light food and the mimosas, that is free. But in the speakers, like you said, the vendors, the gift bags.
So you can sip a little bit, listen a little bit, and shop a little bit. Who don't want to do that?
You know, and eat. It sounds like a perfect Saturday to me. So make sure you guys wrote all these events down. We will definitely place the links on this on these shows in this conversation that we're having right here. So you can write them down. Make sure you purchase your tickets. You can contact me and T personally if you want to purchase tickets to the masquerade and to the Mommies and Mimosas. But that's on Eventbrite. So you can just Google that real quick. Mommies and Mimosas. We right there. And did you have anything else?
One more thing. As I was thinking, this is the last thing we're going to go. And then you have every other Tuesday, Tamika Douglas with Women with No Limits. She will be in Oxon Hill Library. She's having a round table for women from the ages of 14 and up who want to rebuild and restore after just being through domestic violence, relationship, love, and it's pretty much love don't hurt. So
awesome.
If you know somebody, if you've been through it, just know at Oxon Hill Library, starting October 3rd, every other Tuesday, 7 to 9. So share the word, pass it on, because we are out here trying to do things for women.
Yes, make a difference, because guess what? We make the world go round, so we all have to link arms, and we have to nurture and nourish and rebuild and reshift the focus. We have to make America great again.
Right.
Okay, sorry. All right.
All right. Thank you for joining, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you Sunday.
Yes, bye.